All right, so this is a quick video of setting up the outside PA. This unit over here is basically your power, and over in this case is the board. I expect that the board will be somewhere inside, and I'm sure the manager will know where that is. The first thing you want to do is you want to open up the case, and once you have the case open, inside of it there's going to be the cables. Think of this as a snake, right? And this basically, the other end of this obviously gets connected to the board. What you do is, this is labeled L, here's left, so you're going to go ahead and you're going to connect the left to the left, the right to the right, and then this one here, this is basically your sub, which is also mono, right? And so you're going to connect that to this one over here. Okay, so it's all connected over here, and then we're going to go ahead and we're going to open up the board. I'm sure you know how to open up the case. And here's the board, okay? And inside of it, you got the power cable. I'm going to put the power cable up over on this table. This table will be here, and you can use that for the board. And I'm going to go ahead and take this board out, and I'm just going to put it over there on the table. So now with the board up on the table, I am going to take the other end of this snake, basically, right? And I'm going to do the exact same thing on the back. But on the back, it basically looks like this. And again, you're going to have left, right, and the mono, right? Which is also sub. So I'm going to connect left to left, right to right, and then the M to the M. All right, so now that I've got those connected, you can see that they run down and they go on over here into, you've got basically surge protection and the power. I'm also going to take the power cable, I'm going to connect it into the back over here, and that's going to go down into this power outlet over here. All right, so now that everything is connected, power, all your cables, right, running on over here, you've got one switch to push. This switch right here, you'll see these lights turn on, and then on this unit, you also only have one switch to push. You can see it's going to be lit up, and you're better off turning these all the way up, just so that way you have them all the way up. And also inside of the case, for convenience, since it's at night, we've got a nice little light for you to connect. And there's a light up over here. Okay. And then the power for this is right on the back and the left side.
Little round button.
All right. There you go. And it's all powered up. And from here, you know, this is kind of like an industry standard. This Allen Heath, and it's going to operate as you would expect pretty much any other board that you've probably encountered. You know that the first thing you got to do is you got to set your preamps, and you know how that works.
First thing you do is,
so even before touching the knob, go ahead and move your fader up a little bit. All right, so it is your typical channel strip, right? So after you have your preamp set, and of course, you know, you're going to have the individual musicians in the band. You're going to watch the meter. It's definitely into the yellow. It's okay if it, you know, bleeps just a little bit into the red, but you don't want it to stay into the red because, you know, you want to give yourself plenty of headroom. But going back to the channel strip, you know, this is basically your EQ. This is going to be your monitor section, right? And then this is going to be your effects. And of course, down here is your fader. Here's a mute button. And that's pretty much the easiest operation I could tell you. Of course, when it comes to the monitors, you know, the question is how much of a particular instrument you want in the monitor. So in monitor 1, right? If you want, you know, let's say vocals in the monitor, good, turn it up. Or, you know, bass, kick, what have you. And then this will send it to the individual monitors over here. So I don't know that you're going to be able to hear this on here, but I'm all the way down here. And from out here, we got a reading as high as around 78, 80. You know, as I get closer, you're going to see it's going to be pulling up quite a bit. The speaker in the middle is the sub. And then you have the right and left overheads. And you can see right now, we're coming in at almost 90. So to make that happen, what we did was we basically took that out of a computer and we ran it into 14 and 15 here. And you could see the gain's not terribly far up on it to get that. And then, of course, you know, the faders they're not even quite at unity gain yet. I assume that you guys know all this, but I'm just going to go ahead and take this 58. I'm going to go ahead and plug it into channel 1. And, of course, this is exactly what you do with any other instrument. But of course, if you need, you know, direct input, well, you're using these, you know, the insert. And so that's probably about it. And so, you know, a quick word about effects and such. So for starters, if you are using a condenser, you want to give it, you're obviously going to want to send juice to it, right? So that's where you use 48 volt. Now, these are your EQ, right? And so we just took a guess, you know, because we went out in front and we were listening to it. And if your vocals or probably guitar, this is a damn good guess as far as your EQ is concerned. Now, what we did was on channel 8, we did the same thing. We took a pretty good guess as to what, you know, your bass EQ might look like, and you'll notice that we've rolled a few things back, and we've only pumped up the low mids. Again, just as a guesstimate, but it's all preference for you.
To the ear.
And as it relates to the effects, here's where you're going to go ahead and add, you know, to whatever you've got plugged into that particular channel.
Like a kick drum or a snare drum, you might want a little.
And up over here is basically the different type of effects. And what we've got that set now is number 3 for
small hall reverb.
Yeah, it's a small hall reverb. And that's a real good overview of the whole board.
Names of the...
And in case that I forgot to mention it, these are obviously your mains here, right? Your main.